Hi beautiful, welcome to my channel. In today's video I'm going to be sharing with you my top 10 fall eyeshadow palette picks for 2022. This video has been a long time in the making, but I really wanted to make sure that I tried all of the new palettes that came out for fall before I went on and shared my thoughts. Now in today's video there's not only going to be new palettes, there are some new palettes, but then there's also some oldie but goodies that I definitely wanted to make sure I shared with you, because I know that I'm going to be reaching out for all of these during the rest of the fall season and also going into holiday. I'm super excited to share my top 10 picks with you, and if you are excited to see my recommendations, don't forget to please give this video a thumbs up. I have videos reviewing every single one of these. I have videos with looks with every single one of these, so let's just go ahead and get started. I want to kick off with an oldie but a goodie, and this is a palette that has been making me feel inspired lately, so I have been wanting to reach for it and I definitely wanted to share it with you, and that is this stunning thing right here from Mother Pat McGrath. This is Mothership number 5 Bronze Seduction. When I think of a Pat McGrath Mothership palette that is fall, this is definitely one of the first that always comes to mind. It has such an incredible color story. Warm matte shades like this one and this brown down here definitely go so well for fall, and even this really deep burgundy matte shade here definitely has my heart, and it makes a lot of the looks very sultry and very exciting for the fall season. Besides that, obviously the Astro Blitz shades that this palette has, like this red right here and this absolutely stunning coppery rose gold, can make some really stunning fall eyeshadow looks. As with all of my Pat McGrath Mothership palettes, I do have a 5 looks 1 palette with this one that you can check out for inspiration if you own this palette and want to recreate any of those looks. And if you don't have this palette yet but you're interested in this one or any other of the Mothership palettes from Pat McGrath, she is currently having her fall sale, so you can get 30% off a lot of Pat McGrath makeup on her website. There are exclusions. Her brand new products are not currently included in this sale, but you can definitely get Mothership number 5 and I think probably Motherships like 1 through 9 with a 30% off discount, which is incredible. This is definitely the time to purchase your Pat McGrath products with a 30% off, because she has these sales often and you can definitely take advantage if you've been lusting for any Pat McGrath palettes. Like I said, for fall, this one right here is definitely my recommendation. I'm not going in any particular order and I'm going to be jumping from brand to brand. The next palette I highly want to recommend for you this fall season is from Natasha Denona, and it is the My Dream eyeshadow palette. I have been loving this palette and the color story is just perfection for fall. I have a video reviewing this one where I created 2 looks with it, and then I just recently uploaded my 5 looks 1 palette video with this color story as well. So again, if you need any inspiration, definitely check those out. But I've definitely been loving colors like these burgundy deep vampy shades right here. I love that it has a black shade that can make anything a little bit extra dark, a little bit extra smoky, a bit more interesting. And then on this side of the palette you have all of your really beautiful, warm, perfect for fall eyeshadow shades. Just take a look right there. Also, Natasha Denona has one of the best formulas on the market. She has the greatest matte, and so these palettes are not only stunning with beautifully curated color stories, but also you get the greatest eyeshadow quality that is so easy to use. I highly recommend them. Moving on to a smaller palette and one that came out during the fall season last year, the Huda Beauty Wild Jaguar palette is also definitely one that inspires me during fall. It's got this really beautiful, more cool toned, grungy color story that just speaks to me and you can get really stunning glamorous looks with. I'm obsessed with these shiny shades that this palette has. Take a look right there. They're not super colorful, but they definitely are very attention grabbing shimmers, and this palette also has really good matte shades. I'm not sure, but I do definitely have a review up on this palette and probably even 2 additional looks with it. So if you want to get inspired, definitely check out those videos. And this one's also a bit more budget friendly at $29. The other Huda Beauty palette that I'm highly recommending this fall season is the Empowered palette by Huda Beauty. I mean, this absolutely screams fall with the super foiled gold metallic shades, the warm color story on this side of the palette, and the really stunning cool tone shades right here. It's deep, it's shiny, it's dark. It's also going to be great for like the holiday season with these types of like shiny shades right here, all the glitz and the glam. It's going to be great for holiday. And I also have a couple of videos with this one on my channel. I have a video reviewing it, and also I have a 5 looks 1 palette that I created with this one. I think the 5 looks 1 palette that I created with this Huda Beauty Empowered palette was definitely the most fun I've had creating a 5 looks 1 palette lately. I really loved every single one of the looks that came out of here, and so I highly recommend this palette. It's going to be good year round. It's not just a fall palette, but for the fall season it is going to be incredible. Now the Sephora sale is coming up, so if you are a VIB Rouge, I would wait, because at the end of this month you'll be able to get this palette with a 20% off coupon at Sephora. So up to you if you want to wait or not, but I do highly recommend that you get your hands on this one. It is 100% worth it. Back to another oldie but a goodie. This bronze palette from Miss Natasha Denona is always an incredible choice for fall. It has all of the bronzy warm shades to get you inspired to create some absolutely stunning fall looks. And 2 years ago, whenever this palette came out, I did create a couple of videos with it, one video reviewing it, and then of course a 5 looks 1 palette video as well. And I can promise you each and every one of those looks is going to be perfection for the fall season, because honestly anything that comes out of this palette is going to be perfection for the fall season. This is like fall in a palette right here. I also love that this is a meaty palette from Natasha Denona, so while it is not affordable, it doesn't break the bank. You guys know Natasha Denona has the 129 eyeshadow palettes and then the 65. This one is one of the smaller ones, which used to be 65. I think that there are like 67 or 68 now, but still less than $70. And it is a palette that is absolutely timeless and perfect for this time of year. Another really nice and affordable palette with incredible quality is this one here from Pat McGrath. This is from the Pat McGrath holiday collection this year, and it is the Bronze Allure palette. I did a video reviewing this one where I created a look with it, and honestly coming into the review I wasn't expecting much from this palette. I just thought the color story was kind of boring. I wasn't super overly interested in it, but the formulas that are in these 5 little shades are so incredible. It makes the palette 100% worth it. This palette has this black matte shade right here that blends out seamlessly into like a transition-y type color, or it could be built up to be a very intense matte black. Besides that, the bronzy shades are incredible, and it has one of the best, creamiest silvers. I barely touched it, you saw that. One of the best, creamiest silvers I have ever tried. It's also a $32 palette, I believe, so not too expensive, and I don't know, I just see myself getting a ton of use out of this one. It's a perfect palette to take with you on the go as well, and it is perfect for the fall season, but it's honestly a palette that you can use year round as well, and you can create the most glamorous glitzy eyeshadow look in no time with this one, because everything applies immediately and it blends very, very fast. If you like the grungy vibes for the fall season, I would highly recommend that you got your hands on the Anastasia Rose Metals eyeshadow palette. This one was a pleasant surprise. I did a video reviewing it where I did a couple of looks and I liked it okay, but like I wasn't overly impressed. And then I kept playing with it and I feel like the more I played with it, the more I liked it. It has really nice blendable formulas and it is 90s grunge inspired. I do feel like this one for me is strictly a fall palette. I don't see myself wearing this one year round, but for this time of year I did really like it. I feel like Anastasia has stepped up their formulas a bit. I ended up liking the packaging even more than I thought I would. I would still like the inside of it not to be shiny because it is distracting, but other than that, the outside of it is like this leather thing. I really like the way it looks. And honestly, all of these shimmer grungy shades are so spectacular for the fall season and they have such an incredible pigmentation. Plus the palette also comes equipped with the perfect matte shades to blend them out. So this Anastasia Rose Metals palette, while at first I was like a little bit unsure about it, has grown on me and I do recommend it this fall. Let's move on to the palette that I have on my eyes today, and it is an Adept Cosmetics eyeshadow palette. Adept Cosmetics just kills it, murders it with their formulas. I'm actually going to show you the swatches that I did with this one when I filmed a different video today, and you can see how absolutely incredible the shifts of all of these shimmer shades are. I know. And then like I said, this is the palette that I'm wearing today. So if you want to see how I created this one, check out the video that I uploaded right before this video. Anyways, like I said, Adept Cosmetics has the most incredible shimmer formulas, and the two mattes that come in this palette, I'm wearing them both and work wonders as well. While I do wish there was at least one more matte shade in this one, there's really not much that I can say bad about it because I'm obsessed with the shine. I'm obsessed with the color story. I do have a discount code with them, code PATTY10. If you want to get this palette, you can get 10% off. And I highly recommend this palette for this fall season, but also this is one that you can truly use any time of year. The only negative, I do have a negative from Adept Cosmetics, is I would recommend getting a really nice sticky eyeshadow base if you're going to wear the eyeshadows for a very long time, because they are so soft, they're almost like a cream, and they can crease if you don't have the right primer. See, I'm not wearing any primer at all today, and I have been wearing it for like 3 hours with no primer. Disclaimer, I'm not wearing primer. And it did crease a bit right there. Does it look terrible? No, especially if I'm just like talking to you with my eyes open and stuff, you can't even tell. But without primer, that happens. I have another indie brand that I love that has created a stunning fall palette, and I do highly recommend it. It is Fantasy Cosmetica. The packaging on Fantasy Cosmetica, this is a very new brand, so the packaging is like okay, it's not spectacular, but the formulas and the color stories that they put together are incredible. I also have a discount code with them. It is the same, PATTY10, and check out some of the shades that this palette has. I am obsessed, 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 obsessed. The shimmer shades are incredibly creamy and the mattes are good. They're not great, but they are pretty good. They don't really give me much trouble, but they're also not the softest mattes I've tried. This color story though, absolutely incredible. This is like the colorful version of fall right here. So if you're a colorful girl but you want to have the fall vibes, this is the palette that I recommend. I did create a look with this one on yesterday's video as well that I recommend you to check out. Last but certainly not least, I debated whether or not to put this palette in this video because while it can be a fall palette, it's definitely more of a holiday palette in my opinion. But it is nice and colorful and you can create really nice fall looks with it, and I have been loving it this season because it just came out and because I just love the color story. Anyways, let me just tell you what it is. The new Pat McGrath Celestial Nirvana palette. Now I know this has more of like summer slash holiday vibes than fall vibes, but if you cover the middle colors right here, right? If these were to not be in this palette, then this would be a very fall palette. You have a bunch of really nice warm shades back here, an orange, a gold, all of the fall vibes in these 6 shades. And then these 6 shades down here can be very holiday, but they can also be very fall. You have nice neutral browns, you have this like gold green shade, and also this green shade right here that looks very bright, but I think once you apply it, it looks a little bit more dark and smoky on the outer corner of the eye, and I think it could work for the fall season. Is it a stretch? Am I putting it in here just because I'm loving it and it might not be as fall as the rest of these? Maybe. I apologize if that's the case, but I think you can totally use these colors for fall and I do recommend it, okay? I have a video reviewing this one where I did a few looks. I did 3 looks with that video actually, and I absolutely loved them all. And then I also have a 5 looks 1 palette that I created, so if you want some inspiration on combining your colors with this really nice big palette from Pat McGrath, definitely check them out. I love the formulas in here and the colors and everything else about it as well. Anyways, these are my top 10 picks as far as eyeshadows are concerned for the fall season. I have been loving each and every one of these, and I have been wanting to reach for each and every one of these, and so of course I highly recommend them. All of them are going to be listed and linked down below in the description box of this video, so if you're interested in any of these, please check out using my links down there. And that is all I have for today's video. I love you guys so much. If you're new to my channel, please don't leave without subscribing. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope to see you back in the next one. Bye bye.